Hey guys, so today we're going to be playing with some new makeup. Some of these things are actually new, like new to the market. Some of them are just new to me. And I don't think I have a full face, maybe close. But what I also wanted to do was play with some new brushes. So I purchased that Sonia G Smooth Buffer Brush from Beautylish. I really want to try that out. And Bristles Beauty, actually, they were kind enough in sending me their whole set. And I've been waiting to do like a trying new makeup video so that I could try new brushes as well. So anyway, here we are. We're going to be trying out the Bristles Beauty brushes. I thought about maybe using the Beautylish Hachiko brush, the Kabuki brush that I purchased. And I was like, no, I don't think I want to use that brush. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. So anyway, those are the new brushes that I'll be using. So I wanted to start off with the Kjaer Weis Cream Foundation. Now, this is not a new product. And in fact, I think they've just come out with a liquid foundation, which I am really interested in. I really love their products. But they just sent me a different color. So they sent me Feathery, which is a little bit of a deeper shade than what I have. And Silken is the cream foundation that I have. And I have it in this like palette of theirs where you can kind of customize the products in here. But I do remember watching a demo of this foundation and they put some oil down on the face first, and I thought that that would actually be a really good idea. So I've been using the Chantecaille like rose face oil, so I'm just going to maybe just like one drop, because this oil is actually pretty dense, and just kind of prep my skin with that. I do have some other skincare down. I pretty much have lotion, and I did put a little bit of oil on before I put my moisturizer on, but I wanted to prep my skin just a little bit more and just see how the foundation kind of sits over it. I'm actually going to take one more drop and apply it to my forehead here. All right, so I'm actually going to take my Chantecaille foundation and mask brush. I was looking at my Bristles Beauty brushes, and the only one that I thought I could use for foundation is this F09RM, but the hair lengths are a little bit long, I think. I think this would be better for powder. So anyway, we'll use that a little bit later. So I'm just going to grab my Chantecaille brush, and I'm going to start with this shade that they just sent me, Feathery. And I'm going to pick up some on the brush and then just slowly apply to my forehead and just see how the shade is. I think you could very easily use your fingers to apply this foundation, but I always feel like I have a little bit more control in terms of like an even coverage when I use a brush. With my fingers, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, but I prefer using a brush when I can. Yeah, I think that shade is okay for my forehead. I think it's definitely going to be too deep for down here, but let's just take a look. Yeah, can you see it? It's too deep. So I'm going to go back to my Silken shade, which is the original foundation that I had from Kjaer Weis. I'm going to use the same brush and just pick up some product. Yeah, I think that is a little better. All right, so there is Silken applied to like this half of my face. I just wanted to do half so you guys could see like the level of coverage you could achieve, at least with a brush. It's like a light medium, and I think you can definitely build it up. I feel like the first time I used this foundation, I got like a solid medium coverage because I was going in with my fingers, and I felt like, yeah, I just felt like that was a heavier application. The brush, I feel like, kind of helps thin it out a little bit. But yeah, I think Feathery works up here, and then I just kind of blended it into, well, actually I blended the Silken into the Feathery, and I think that looks nice. So I'm going to finish applying the Silken to the rest of my face. And I really liked applying the oil down first. It just gives the, you know, the cream foundation just a little bit more slip. I feel like, yeah, I just have a little bit more control in terms of how it's blending out. It's a really nice kind of like skim prep trick. All right, there is the Kjaer Weis cream foundation on all over. I've already done like a full day wear test for this foundation. It is very lovely. It's 100% organic. Big fan of it, and I'm really excited to try their new liquid foundation out. Have you guys seen pictures of it? I'm really excited. It looks like it comes in like a bottle with a dropper, so it looks like it has like a really thin consistency. So anyway, I'm really excited. I don't have a new concealer or powder. I'm actually going to use my La Prairie Skin Caviar Perfect Concealer. I actually have not used this in a while. I had gotten this kind of like at the height of summer, and I was doing a lot of self-tanning, and the shade that I got is fairly light for me. So now that I have like zero self-tan left, I need to kind of use this a little bit more. Otherwise, it's just kind of wasting away in my drawer. So I thought it would be good to take out today. Yeah, you could say it's definitely a little bit light for me, or you could say it's brightening. It's a brightening concealer for me. I have it in the shade number 2, by the way. And then next I'm just gonna throw on the new Sisley pressed powder that I really, really love. Again, this is the biggest Bristles beauty brush that I have. I'm just gonna go ahead and use a powder brush that I have. And then as for bronzer contour, I wanted to use the Salt New York Sculpt and Bronze Cream Tint Pro. I've been using the light medium, and again, I feel like this may be a little bit too dark for me now that any kind of self-tan is gone. So I wanted to try the light. So I put that into the Salt Magnetic palette here. So this is the light medium, this is the light. And I thought I would go ahead and use a sponge. I do have powder down, obviously, and when I've used the light medium in the past, it works fine over powder. I didn't feel like it lifted anything up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a shot. I'm gonna dip in with the sponge, and I'm just gonna tap. Oh yeah, it's definitely much more subtle than the light medium, obviously. But I think it's working well over the powder. It's like not, you know, kind of picking up the powder or anything. And so far with the light and the light medium of these Salt New York cream products, I find the tone to be, for me, like very, very good for contour. They definitely are like cool toned on my skin tone. And yeah, it just works really, really great for contour. I don't think that I would use either of these shades as kind of like an all over bronze. I'd have to try it, but I don't think so. So far, I'm really liking it, you know, just as a contour. All right, so just a subtle little contour there. As for blush, I hauled this a long time ago, but this is the Shiseido Minimalist Whipped Powder Blush. I have it in the shade Eiko, E-I-K-O. It's number 04. And the last time I checked, this was still available on the Sephora site, and a lot of the other shades are still sold out. So here is what the blush looks like. This is a glass jar. And I remember reading the description on Sephora about this blush, and it said to use sparingly, that it's very, very pigmented, and to use your fingers to dab. So there's a little cover on top of the blush, so I just took that off. I think there's plenty of product on there for me. But that is the shade. Here it is in the pot. Yeah, it has this like really whipped kind of moussey texture. Ooh, I think that's too much. I'm just gonna dab. And oh, ooh. This is a really pretty like neutral nude kind of color. It's so funny. It's like it built up so slowly that I'm sitting here tapping thinking, is anything happening? And I look up in the viewfinder and I can see it compared to my other cheek that it's just given this like really kind of like cloud burst of color. So pretty. And the finish is so pretty. It's just very, very skin-like. By the looks of it, I really thought it was going to like kind of set down to more of a powdery finish, but I don't feel that way. I mean, it could be the products that I have underneath, but really looks very, very skin-like. All right. Okay, I forgot I was using a cream blush. We still haven't gotten to these Bristles Beauty brushes, but next we are. So I did purchase the Charlotte Tilbury Super Glow highlighter here, and it was like early access to Rouge members on Sephora. So I thought after that it would just be available to everyone, but no, it disappeared. So I don't know when this is coming back, but it is quite a lovely highlighter. I would like to do a dedicated video to this when it does come back, comparing it to other highlights, but it is very, very peachy in tone. It's really quite lovely. Let me do a swatch for you. It's very, very creamy, soft and creamy in the pan. So there it is on my finger, and there's the highlight. So I've got the Bristles F08 AM brush. So this is like their angled, pinched ferrule brush. And these brushes are fairly small. So this Refer number 5 brush, I think, is a very typical kind of like cheek blush brush. And this is the size of the bristles. So I think this definitely is going to appeal to some people who really like to work with smaller brushes. So I'm going to leave links to the Bristles Beauty brushes that I use down in my description box, you know, along with everything else that I'm putting on my face, because their brushes aren't all the same. So some of their bristles are synthetic, some of them are animal hair, some of them are a mix. So all the information is on their website if you are interested, but I do believe these are all made in Japan. So picked up product really easily. That was 2 taps. And apply. Ooh, this highlighter's pretty. The brush is very, very soft. Applies product nicely. This is not, it's not an exceptionally like dense brush, but it's also not too flimsy. It really does have like quite a bit of control. So I think this shade works for my complexion. I really was worried that maybe this was going to be a little bit too dark, especially how it appears in the pan. So I think this shade does definitely work for my skin tone, which is great. And I like the kind of like peachy tone to it. All right, I'm gonna take the Sonia G Smooth Buffer Brush. This is her newest brush. It has the blue ombre tapered handle. And this is basically like the smaller, younger sibling to the Face One brush, which is maybe a little bit wider. I actually can't really tell. I think it's a little bit wider and the hair lengths are a little bit longer. So the Smooth Buffer is definitely great for smaller areas, and the Face One is great if you're just kind of buffing all over your face, as you know, for like finishing powder or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I kind of envision this brush buffing out like highlight and cheek products, because the last thing I want personally is like the stripe effect of like the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight. So I'm just gonna go ahead there. I don't have any product on here, and I'm just going to buff over the highlight, which can always tend to look a little bit stark, but wow. So just a quick buff, and I feel like the highlight is like blended in a lot better now. So here it is, I just buffed it here, and here it is without. Do you see how it looks like it's kind of just sitting on top of my skin? And here it looks like, oh, like I'm really glowing from within. I hope the camera is catching it. So buffed, not buffed. Another winner from Sonia G. Not a surprise. And this brush was really nice. I actually love the size of this for highlight, because you really just want to get it right in this specific area, or even like if you highlight your nose or like certain parts of your forehead. This is actually perfect size for this, and I love an angled brush for highlight. As for eyebrows, Ilia sent this to me a while ago. This is their Essential Brow Natural Volumizing Brow Gel, and they sent the shade Medium Brown. And I'm excited to try this. As you guys know, I'm just, you know, so addicted to the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel. It's just my default. I always reach for it, but I am always down to try a new brow gel. So here is the packaging. It's like the metal packaging. Oh, it's got this really kind of like short, squat kind of spoolie. So it's short, but it's really fat. And I feel like, yeah, one side has like the longer bristles there, and then the other side has shorter, more like typical hair lengths. So I'm gonna take the longer side and like, do I want to take the longer side or the shorter side? Let me think. Let me take the shorter side, actually. I think that's gonna deposit more product, and then the longer side will help me kind of brush it out. We'll see. All right, so I'm gonna take the shorter side and just sort of brush through. I think this brow gel, yeah, I think this brow gel, it's a little bit wetter than the Tom Ford. Okay, not bad. So this is the side with the brow gel, this is the side without. Yeah, it definitely looks more filled in, looks a little bit darker. I'm curious to see how it sets. So let me go ahead and do the other side. It really doesn't feel like anything. I feel like this brow gel definitely does more in terms of like color. You know, it really kind of darkened up my brow, which was really nice, kind of filled in some of the patches. But I have really just like long, unruly eyebrow hair, and I don't think it's done much in terms of actually like holding it in place. So if you don't need a lot of hold, this may be the brow gel for you. I definitely don't like too much hold. You know, I don't want like anything too crunchy. But the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel definitely, it's like a pomade. It definitely kind of like helps shape my brow. Yeah, this is definitely a much more like natural kind of look. Next up, a DIOR Quint. I am so excited to try this one out. I have 4 of them now, and this is the only one that I really haven't dug into. So this is $6.49 nude dress. And this one, hold on, let me take out the brush and everything. This one is probably the palest one out of all the ones that I have, and it's the most, you know, neutral, well, not neutral, but brown, a little bit warm leaning. That center shade, that peach shade is so pretty. Okay, so ignore this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. So these are the 4 shades around the perimeter of the Quint. And here's the center shade, the peach shade, which I'm not sure you can see at all, but it has this really beautiful satin sheen. And then here are the 4 shades. So I'm gonna grab the Bristles Beauty E01DL brush. This looks like a typical kind of blender brush. It has like a round ferrule. And ooh, what color should I go into? So this is the only matte shade in here. It's fairly deep. So I'm gonna go into this shade and brush this all over my lid. Nice. This brush is doing a great job. Yeah, it's putting product down evenly. It's blending nicely. I think I see little bits of that brow gel kind of migrating. Let's see if I can sweep that away. Yeah, it's just a few little bits. They wiped away really easily. So there's that shade all over. I would be happy to wear just this one shade, but I will definitely demo more of the shades in here for you. All right, next I'm gonna take this little rounded ferrule brush. This is the E03-DM brush. Let me just hold it up next to the blender that I used so you can see size reference, but you can see this is much smaller. This actually reminds me of the Sonia G Mini Booster brush. So I'm gonna use this and go into the lightest shade here and just add that like to the inner corner of my lid. And I'm just brightening up that like inner corner a bit. I'm gonna add some here. That's pretty. That has like a little bit of shiftiness to it. There's like a little bit of peach. I hope you guys can see that. But a little bit of like peachiness to this. It looks like it's white in the pan. Okay, next up I'm gonna take the Bristles Beauty like flat shader brush. This is E02-RL. And I'm gonna go into this top left-hand corner here. And I'm gonna add this to the outer corner. Ooh, oh, it's so pretty. Ooh, that is beautiful. And this brush is great. I'm just gonna go back to this original blender brush. This is the E01DL. I'm just gonna knock off any kind of excess product I have from that other shade I used and just use this to kind of blend everything out. I really like this brush, this E02RL brush. This really, really reminds me of the Hakuhodo J5523. Am I remembering that correctly? Probably not. Oh yeah, here it is. So here's the Hakuhodo J5523. This is an old brush. I've had this for a long time. So the hair lengths on this one a little bit longer. It's a little bit less dense than the Hakuhodo, but it's nice because I can really use like the tip of this brush and like create kind of like a nice line. With the Hakuhodo, I have to be a little bit more careful because you can see how much more like fluffy it is at the top versus a brush like this. Oh, but this did a really, really good job. I like how it laid down the product. Let's see, there are 2 more brushes I think I could use. This looks like a smudger brush. This is E04-RS. And then this looks like a liner brush, E05PS. I'm gonna take this PS brush and go into the matte brown there and use this as a liner. And maybe I can use that other smudger brush and kind of smoke it out a little. These DIOR Quints are just out of this world. They're so, so good. Next, I'm going to take this smudger brush just to see. I'm going to go back into that matte brown. I'm just going to pick a little bit up Oh, this is great actually for working it into my lash line. And then I'm gonna try and smudge out the line of brown shadow that I laid down. Oh yeah, this is great too. Okay, I really like this brush too. This is the E04RS. It picks up a lot of product and then you can kind of like lay it down slowly. Like I haven't had to like reload the brush. It just sort of picks up a lot of product and then you can take your time and like work it in. Wow, this is fantastic. Ooh, I like it. Well, all of these brushes were great. The ones that really stood out to me are these two, the E02RL and the E04RS. Really liked these two. Oh, and this one was great too for highlight. I really liked the diminutive size of this and the angle of it is really nice. This is the F08AM. Yeah, these are all fantastic. Wow, love those. All right, so mascara. You guys are gonna be very, very shocked at this, but I don't have a new mascara. I feel like we went through a mascara like bonanza, but the one that I actually haven't used that much is the Kosas one. So I'm gonna use that again, just to kind of get more of a feel of it. I think I need to do like a mascara roundup. I did just order the Surat Lash Tint, which is a very different type of like lash definer. It has like a very unique wand. Anyway, I'm gonna do a whole face of Surat, kind of feature that lash tint. And then once I've formed an opinion on that, I think I'm gonna do like a whole mascara roundup. So there's really just been a lot. And I love doing those roundup videos because I feel like it helps me like really figure out all the different mascaras, because you put them on and you're like, oh, this looks nice, and then you kind of forget about it. It's like it helps me be able to like really like hone in and analyze like what it is I like about each mascara or what it is I don't like about each mascara. So I definitely want to do that soon. All right, so this is the Kosas, the Big Clean. So this is relatively new and it has this like rounded brush. And I remember liking this mascara, but again, like what is it that I liked about it? I can't really recall. Well, it goes on really easily. And it's kind of like a medium wet kind of formula. It's not totally wet, but it's not dry at all. Nice. I think it gives me a little bit of volume, a little bit of length. I feel like this is a very good like all around kind of mascara. All right, and finally for lips, Kier Weiss also sent over a lipstick and a lip gloss, and I've never tried their lipstick before. So this is in the shade Thoughtful, and it is very, very pale, even for me. You know, I do like a nude lipstick, but this one is very, very pale. So I may layer the gloss on top. I may want to add a little bit of lip liner to kind of contour a little bit, but I'm just gonna put this on straight and just see what the color looks like on my lips. There's definitely like a density to this lipstick. It really kind of, like it dragged a little bit, but not in a dry way. Just that it's like this, almost like it's really balmy. I am not used to that color. Let me know what you guys think of this shade down below in the comments section. Does it make my teeth look yellow? Okay, I'm gonna throw some of the lip gloss on. This is in the shade Courage. And this is a little bit brighter. It's still a peach, but at least it's like brighter. It's more of like a coral. All right, there it is with the gloss on top. Yeah, it brightened it up a little bit. I'm still not used to like a light peachy color like this. I really don't wear shades like this very often. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. And I wanted to try one more thing with you guys. So I did haul this a long time ago. This is the Patrick Ta Dewy Milk Mist in She's Thirsty. And I'm just gonna shake this up a little bit. I really, really like the light fragrance of this. It's really nice. The spritzer is very, very nice. It's a really nice fine mist. And then I like that it feels like it dissipates fairly quickly. I really don't like face mists that just sort of like make you feel wet and it doesn't like go away ever. This really feels like it just kind of like sets into your skin nicely. Oh, and I do feel like it's made me look a little dewier. Okay, this is probably the second or third time I've used this spray, and I don't think I've ever noticed the like additional dewiness, but I definitely see it now. All right, well that is it for this trying new makeup. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and again, let me know what you think of this lip color. I'm just so curious of your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.